My longevity journey began about 50 years ago. I was in my early 20s, and I realized that I enjoyed life. I want to live forever. It's just great being alive, and what can I do to make sure I just live as long as I possibly can? I realized that most of the male people, ancestors that I had died in their early 70s from heart disease, from dementia. I had a grandfather in his late 60s who would die a few years later, and he too was overweight and inactive. And I thought, well, the first thing I can do is make sure I keep active. And so I got into some limited physical activity, and I also tried to eat well. That is, I wanted to eat good quality eggs and beef. Little did I know. Fast forward 20 years, I'm in my 40th year, and about 3 months before my birthday, Sandy Shaw and Dirk Pearson published a book called Life Extension. And I thought, wow, there are people who think about making life longer. And I got the book. And what they prescribed mainly was exercise and supplements. So I did add to my supplements lots of vitamin C and things like that. They were really well-muscled people who spent a lot of time in the gym. I could not do that. It's not in my psyche, but I did keep my activity level up. Again, I kept on that good food, lots of eggs and beef and so on. And unfortunately, in 2004, I ended up getting stents in my heart. And that was a real awakener in some sense, because, wow, maybe I'm mortal afterwards, or after all. I was a little concerned when I went to see my cardiologist after the operation to put the stents in my heart. And he said, gee, you did very well, and that's going to hold you, and we'll see you in about 6 years for your bypass. And I said, what? That was really upsetting. In 2009, I read a book, Ending Aging, by Aubrey de Grey and Michael Ray. And I was really excited by it because it prescribed or proposed that aging was caused by a wearing out of the body, and that there were things that we could do to stop that wearing out. I met Aubrey at a conference in 2009. At the same conference, I also decided to go to Terry Grossman's clinic out in Denver, Colorado for a longevity wellness check. And after that was finished, he sat me down and he said, well, let's start making you young again. And I thought, great. No doctor had ever suggested that before. And so that led to a little later setting up the website Let's Get Young Again, because people were asking, what are you doing? I was following some of the things that Terry told me to do. A few years later, after the death of my father from cardiovascular disease, mini strokes, terrible way to die, I was on a flight and I read a book called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. And as I read it, I realized, hey, this is the answer. And the next morning I started what we now call a whole foods plant-based diet. And that has changed my life. Within a year, the change was phenomenal, and it was so impressive. And so many people were asking about what was happening to me that we created the Viva Sparkle website to try and pass that information on. It made such a difference to my life that I could stop worrying so much about health and nutrition and get on with longevity. And so I started going to conferences. And I went to the Berlin Ending Aging Conference in 2018, and I met people in the industry. I started investing. The rest is sort of history, as they say. And now we're launching this new website really to reflect the success of this journey and to provide opportunities for other people to participate, both in getting younger, but also in investing to promote the field.